If they set that android free, it will be the end of all of us! No!
What's up, guys? It's Friday, so you know what that means. Another episode of SuiShi Sessions.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Bonafide Hustler coming to you with another episode of SuiShi Sessions. Let's get into it. Naruto Shippuden picks up about 2.5 years later with a more mature version of Naruto returning to the village after training with Jiraiya. The main focus at this point is to get Sasuke back, of course, but the Akatsuki begins hunting Jinchuriki, starting with Naruto's old foe turned ally, Gaara of the same. We got some new Akatsuki members, Deidara and Sasori. Sasori was defeated by Sakura and Lady Chiyo, and he said he had a meeting with one of Orochimaru's henchmen, and it turns out to be none other than Kabuto bitch-ass. We are introduced also to two new characters who join Team Kakashi. One Tsunade sends the mission now. We get an Anbu member named Sai, and replacing Kakashi for this mission, due to him using the newly awakened Mangekyo Sharingan, it put his ass in the hospital, and he had to sit out of this mission. So instead, we get Captain Yamato. And Yamato was a special case, man.
Long-awaited arc. I call this arc the Tenchi Bridge arc, and honestly, this arc is probably the most memorable and meaningful arc in the beginning part. Let's say the first half of Naruto Shippuden, because honestly, Shippuden is exponentially longer than the first Naruto series. Probably why I like the original so much, because it's so to the point. The Tenchi Bridge arc is so monumental for me because in the first episode of Shippuden, which my co-host didn't touch on, you actually see this opening sequence of Naruto aged up, and Naruto and Sasuke about to fight off and face off at the very freaking beginning. He's like, oh shoot, you know, he on a mission with Sakura and whoever the heck this Sasuke wannabe has been, which later on we actually get to know as Sai, and we get introduced to Sai, who was supposed to take Sasuke's place on Team 7. So it's like this huge reunion, and Kakashi's out of commission because of the whole kage pursuit arc when they went up against Deidara and Sasori, and honestly some of the best fights. And that's when we first get to see that the Akatsuki are no joke. You know, they took down Gaara, bro. Gaara became the kage. That's the leader of the entire village. And like, how do you go from being a serial killer, deranged kid to ruling an entire nation and everybody loving you? Well, I'll tell you how. Go back and watch the freaking last filler arc, and you'll understand how Gaara went from being the most hated to the most respected. He earned it the same way Naruto did. He just did it a little bit faster because customs and leadership was already scarce over there, you know, politics over there. But yeah, so we get over here at the Tenchi Bridge, and basically we find out that Sasori was an informant for Orochimaru, and that he was meeting Kabuto, Yakushi, as you already know. Yakushi! I hate that guy. But yeah, they meet Kabuto at the Tenchi Bridge, but it's not actually Sasori. It's a transformation jutsu. So Yamato, which is also known as Tenzo later on, in his former days, when he was a part of the Anbu, was pretending to be Sasori, which is kind of crazy. It's like, dog, you had all this information on him, his mannerism, everything, and you still got snuffed out by Kabuto, bro. Like, you were an Anbu Black Op, bro. Make that make sense, but I digress. So things go haywire. Big fight starts at the bridge. Orochimaru actually is there in the shadows because he suspected that Kabuto was on some Fugazi shit, but truth be told, Kabuto was the most loyal to Orochimaru. You know, he was his number one orphan of all orphans. So it was basically their idea to take out one of the Akatsuki, because the Akatsuki are not their allies at all. The Sound Village is not friends with them. Although Orochimaru formerly was a part of that, he still got bad blood with all of them. He ain't trying to let them destroy and control the entire world, because he really truly desires his own freedom. That's why his whole research and everything he was doing was for his own sake. He kind of was very selfish. Like, he's literally only using Sasuke for his body. So when Naruto sees Orochimaru pop up on that bridge, man, 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, he's just provoking the 9 tails, like pissing him off. And we see this kick-ass fucking battle where he starts raging on him. Ha, 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 boom, boom, Bijou bombs, everything. Whooping Orochimaru's ass, and Orochimaru putting up these damn Golden Gates and whatnot. He's like, man, I ain't finna get caught by this, bro. He said, I'm ducking and diving, I'm chucking and jiving, I'm getting out of here. So he finally makes an escape. Naruto thinks he's bastard and took Orochimaru down, and they end up basically following and capturing Kabuto and being able to route back to the hideout, where they're at the beginning sequence of the first Shippuden episode, where they're running around each room and everything. And then they get to that room where Sasuke is, and then Sasuke just blows up the entire hideout, and he's getting ready to hit them with that legendary Kirin. Yeah, then you get this small little meetup inside Naruto's body where they're like, oh, you know, Sasuke's like, oh, so this is what you've been hiding inside you, fostering inside you, this demon fox. Demon fox like, man, look at those eyes, bro. Look at them eyes, bro. He says, man, it's got the Sharingan. He's a spitting Maru Uchiha. It's like, bro. He like, Sasuke, I don't care and don't know who the hell that is. I'm the only Uchiha I love other than my brother, and I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill you too. So, better back up unless you want to get fucked up on that level.
I'm not going to lie. The Tenchi Bridge arc gets no replay value for me. I've only watched it and read it when it was happening. So I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5, man. I'm sorry. There was no good fight scenes to me. The pacing was very slow. And I didn't like it.
Which brings us to the Guardian Shinobi 12 arc. Not my most favorite one to start, but I do appreciate this arc for what it did for Naruto in character development, and really foreshadowing his control over the tail beast that we see later in the series. So, for a quick recap of this, and for the rest of these filler arcs I'm going to end up talking briefly about, I'm really not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to go on the ones that I feel the most about. Sidebar. This is something that I'm going to start doing now in SuiShi Sessions. SuiShi Sessions sidebar. So, it's just going to be basically a little voiceover, in my opinion, of certain characters or whatever aspects of a certain arc or whatever we're talking about. I'm like, hey, I'm going to come back and add this. So I just want to say that I really love and respect Asuma Sarutobi and how well executed Kishimoto turned him into a pivotal part of the Naruto story, because honestly, being the son of the third Hokage, which if you were a nerd and you really looked into the names and whatnot, you would already known that, right? You know, I mean, they both got Sarutobi, Asuma, even though he doesn't really go by his last name, the surname. But yeah, so him carrying that bandana in the Guardian Shinobi 12 arc really kind of foreshadowed the importance of the daimyo, and he really explained that to Naruto, and Naruto really focusing on chakra control and chakra nature, which is what literally made Naruto grow and develop his new variations of the Rasengan. We would end up getting later on what I'm about to say in this next section, his new power, the Rasen Shuriken. We wouldn't get the Rasen Shuriken if it wasn't for Asuma and the character development of us seeing chakra natures. This was Kishimoto being a genius and a boss and systematically spoon-feeding us and pushing us forward through the story without some people really noticing, you know? I was like, I've been a Naruto fan for a while, so I pay attention to backgrounds, birds, weather, you know, all that. Small little things like Tsunade, you know, a crack in a mug or something, like small little tidbit omens in Japanese little omen folklore. So yeah, this is the end of my little sidebar tangent. We'll get back to the show. The Hidan and Kakuzu arc, also known as the Akatsuki suppression arc. We see two new introduced Akatsuki members who are chasing the Two Tails Jinchuriki Yugito. Despite fully transforming to the Two Tails, Hidan Kakuzu defeated her. No surprise there. After the battle, Hidan performed a gruesome religious ritual, greatly annoying Kakuzu, who's just obsessed with the money. Furthermore, after that, Zetsu appears, another member of the Akatsuki. This guy, we've seen him in the old original Naruto. He tends to just dispose of the bodies, collect the bodies, also do reconnaissance and spy work. Honestly, probably one of my favorite Akatsukis. He pretty much stays in the bag, lay low, and he just chill, bro. He chill. Ain't nobody really even mess with him. He plays a pivotal point at the end of the series, by the way. He took Yugito's body and basically told Hidan and Akatsuki to head straight to the land of fire. In which you can see how this is a problem because Naruto's there. See, somebody gonna have to die for Naruto. They gotta die to protect the Jinchuriki because they recognize Naruto as a member of the village and a future aspiring Hokage. Hidan and Kakuzu ended up stopping by a nearby temple and killed a monk by the name of Chiriku, who also goes back with Asuma. I think you can kind of see where this is getting ready to head, guys. Anyway, one of the monks ended up fleeing and escaping. I don't know how. I mean, Hidan and Kakuzu are literally like crazy. Like, how you gonna let one get away? That's crazy. Anyway, Shizune was ordered by Tsunade to form a new team. And the team is Asuma's group, consisting of Shikamaru, Kotetsu, and Izumo. They head to the temple to do some reconnaissance, figure out what's going on and where the Akatsuki is going to head. Due to Asuma's great deductive skills, he ends up pinpointing it down to a bounty station, a nearby bounty station, because obviously the only reason they will go to a temple that was nearby is that they knew that Chiriku had a bounty on his head. Also aware of this bounty, Asuma reveals that his bounty is 5 million Ryos higher than Chiriku's. So, even bigger target on his back, you know? So, also more of that classic Kishimoto foreshadowing. It's like, bro, I put a tag on my boy. You know, he's the son of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, former third Hokage. Like, man, and one of the former Guardian 12. So Hidan and Kakuzu were collecting the bounty, and they drop the corpse off, get the money, and also on the sidebar, Deidara and Tobi's on their way to take down the Three Tails, which Tobi takes down by himself, mocks Deidara. They got a crazy partnership, honestly, probably worse than Deidara and Sasori. At the encounter with Sasuke, Naruto realized that Sasuke was far too strong for him. Kakashi reveals a special training method which focuses and hones on Naruto's chakra nature. Naruto learns that his chakra nature is wind by nature, and that there are 5 different chakra natures. And because Naruto's chakra nature is wind, it works well with the Rasengan. So Naruto is basically forced to learn a new jutsu on a timetable because Asuma and his team are encountering the Akatsuki and things are getting really dicey. Tsunade ended up agreeing to Naruto basically that he won't be able to encounter the Akatsuki or go after Sasuke until he can actually complete and be able to have a jutsu on par of Sasuke's level of Kirin and a jutsu on the level to be able to take down the Akatsuki members. Because he's not going to just sit idly by and be, you know, a princess in the village. It's not his thing. You know, Naruto is very passionate. He's an aspiring ninja. He wants to be a village leader. In order to do that, he has to go on more missions. He has to be out and about. He can't just be held inside. So, back to the whole Hidan, Kakuzu, and Asuma thing. Asuma's just like, hey, let me handle this. Hold back. He didn't handle it. He got bodied. He ends up almost winning. They end up killing him. Hidan actually kills him, which sparks the rage and revenge and Shikamaru to get his one back. Kakuzu wasn't willing to let a bounty like Asuma go. However, Hidan was similarly unwilling to let his enemies live, but the Akatsuki leader contacted them telepathically and forced the pair to retreat.
And Kakuzu promised to come back to finish the job.
Despite the timely rescue, Asuma's wounds were fatal. Asuma died, but not before smoking his last cigarette and sharing some final words with Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji. Shikamaru lit another of his cigarettes, which he began to smoke himself. Crazy, because Shikamaru never smoked no cigarette. This man said, "Give me that tobacco." He tearfully mumbled that he hated cigarettes, as they made his eyes water, a reference to when Team 10 first met. Team 10 returns to Konoha and informs Tsunade of what had happened. Tsunade sent out the message for the funeral to everyone, but Shikamaru had a message for Kurenai from Asuma and would tell her what had happened himself. Naruto had nearly created the jutsu when they were informed of Asuma's death. Shikamaru told Kurenai the message. She collapsed from grief. At the funeral, Konohamaru wept for his uncle, while Naruto comforted him. Shikamaru didn't attend the funeral and spent his time seemingly formulating a strategy and learning how to use Asuma's trench knives. He also picked up Asuma's smoking habit. A moment of silence for Asuma, honestly. And we really see this next part really escalate for Shikamaru. Because Asuma was like family to him, you know? He was basically a mentor and father figure. And way closer to him than Shikaku was to him. So we get this real emotional scene of his dad coming to visit him, and they're playing shogi, which was Asuma's game. If you know Shippuden, that he always used to play, Shikamaru always used to play shogi with Asuma. So we see some of the best animation we have seen yet in Naruto in this one scene, as the music starts ramping up with OST and, you know, the revelation that Shikaku basically says, you know, hey, Asuma's dead, dog. Like, you gotta come to that recollection and just let it go, you know, let everything go. And flips out, knocks the shogi table over, the board's knocked over, and he's just like talking to his dad, like, yo, what do you want from me, man? Like, he's grieving. He's basically like, you know what, just let it out, man. Let it out, son. That's what he tells him. And you just see Shikamaru just kicking all the grief and everything just hitting him all at once, and he just starts bawling. And Shikaku's like, you know what, I think it's about time for me to leave, but also, son, I'm always here for you if you need anything. At this point, he needed to get this all out of his head because his head was clouded. Shikamaru's never been like this, and obviously this is a bond of master and student, and we see these similarities throughout the entire story and progression that a lot of these ninjas end up having. Obviously, Choji Uno's going through it, but nobody was as close to Asuma as Shikamaru was. So he has to get over this grieving point in order to propel and move towards the future. And it goes back to this whole analogy where Asuma envisioned and viewed himself as a sacrificial pawn. And these were the type of conversations that he will always have while playing shogi with Shikamaru. That's why this point is so compelling. So compelling to see Shikamaru just finally just letting it all hit him, and then remembering him and grieving in his own way, and then looking back and remembering that Asuma always viewed him as a knight and himself as a sacrificial pawn. And it goes back to that story and the analogy of like, hey, when he was asking Shikamaru, hey, do you know who the kings are? So Shikamaru finally getting over through this grieving process and moving and propelling himself forward, he finally realizes who the king is. The king is the children and the future and the hope of a new generation, and basically protecting the dreams and ambitions and the hopes and safety of his own nation. And that's beautiful and powerful, because he takes this same thing, which they call the Wheel of Fire, which was passed down from Asuma to Shikamaru, and from Shikamaru to Naruto. Amazing. I definitely recommend you guys go see that episode 82 of Naruto Shippuden. If you have not seen Naruto, I definitely recommend you starting it and just really just going and growing with this story. With this new clarity that Shikamaru has, he's able to create and formulate a plan on how to take down the two Akatsuki members when they come back. Because obviously they're already in the region of the Land of Fire, and they just were gonna they're gonna finish up still in the Two Tails and then come straight after Naruto. They're going straight to the village. You know, that's their mission. Itachi and Kisame had their time. They're already in the area. You know what I'm saying? They already found the Two Tails. They're already in that region. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense for them to go ahead and try to catch Naruto's body. Well, Naruto's meant to be protected by the village because he's a Jinchuriki. That's already a non-starter. And he's also Shikamaru's friend. And also he's inherited Asuma's will. So, we get a new 3-man team with Team 10 preparing to leave and continue Asuma's mission. However, Tsunade refused to let Team 10 go, since they lacked a captain. Kakashi volunteered to temporarily fill in for the gap, and the 4-man team headed off later into the woods. Shikamaru devised a new plan, a strategy that included Kakashi in place of Asuma. About 3 days later, Sakura volunteered her team to back up Team 10. Tsunade told Yamato that Naruto had 24 more hours to complete his new jutsu, or she would send another team as backup. You know Naruto wants some action. He want to take down the Akatsuki, because, you know, them are the ops, man. Them the ops. After Akatsuki's finished stealing the Sanbi and Nibi, Kakashi and Kakuzu and Hidan were allowed to leave. Realizing the likelihood of an ambush, Hidan and Kakuzu took another route. Ino used her mind-body switch technique on a crow in order to find the team. Team 10 then went to ambush the Akatsuki. Shikamaru snuck his shadows near Hidan and Kakuzu, who both managed to jump out of the way. Shikamaru then threw 2 explosive kunai, following by Asuma's chakra blades. Shikamaru poured his own chakra into their blades, allowing him to trap the 2 Akatsuki members with his shadow possession, or shadow imitation, to make Hidan attack Kakuzu. However, Kakuzu thought a step ahead and detached his arm, sending it underground just before Hidan attacked. Kakuzu freed himself just before Hidan attack landed. Just as the 2 were about to counterattack, Kakashi snuck up on Kakuzu and stabbed him through his heart with his lightning cutter. Kakashi then moves to finish off Hidan, but Kakuzu, somehow still alive, surprised Kakashi and knocked him back. Kakuzu then removed his shirt to reveal this man has 4 masks. 4 masks? What do these masks mean? I don't know, maybe different color masks with different color animals. Maybe they're symbolic of different chakra natures by color, and also maybe they're also his hearts. I don't know. This mask broke when he released it, as this was the one Kakashi had stabbed. It turns out that Kakuzu had a total of 5 hearts, 4 of which were stolen from the bodies of fallen shinobi, and the one that allowed him to use his earth element attack allows him to access the heart's elemental affinity. Hidan then attacks Kakashi as a distraction, which allowed Kakuzu enough time to attack with a powerful gust of wind. He then fires 2 powerful bolts of lightning at Shikamaru and Choji, but Kakashi blocks it with his lightning cutter in each hand. He then attacks him with fire, which was dodged by Team 10 and Kakashi. Shikamaru decides to separate Hidan and Kakuzu from each other. Very smart, honestly. Plus, he can get his wands. Once again, capturing Hidan with a shadow imitation technique, Shikamaru drags Hidan to an isolated location, rigged with booby traps. Booby! However, Shikamaru's chakra runs out, which frees Hidan from his technique. Hidan successfully attacks him and begins the voodoo ritual. Kakuzu reveals that the first Konoha ninja he had ever fought was the first Kage. How old is this guy? As Kakashi was about to be killed, Kakuzu grabbed his chest in pain. This was due to Hidan stabbing himself as part of his cursed ritual. How did this happen? Well, the blood he consumed was actually his partner. Shikamaru devised a plan by using a capsule of Kakuzu's blood from Kakashi going through with the lightning cutter. He used that capsule in order to trick Hidan and pretend to get a cut on his face. It wasn't his blood on his face, it was Kakuzu's blood. That's crazy. A little bit too close to the mouth for me. You know, I don't do that blood stuff. I don't consume the blood. You know. But anyway, Hidan did not immediately realize what had happened, but Shikamaru attacked him to illustrate the point. However, Shikamaru was weakened from the extended use of his shadow technique and couldn't hold down Hidan for long. He watched Hidan advance to strike the final blow. Kakuzu continues battling Kakashi. However, as Kakuzu prepares to strike with the fire and wind combo attack, Naruto and Yamato arrive. Alright. Combining both Naruto's wind release Rasengan and Yamato's water release Tearing Torrent, they formed the Typhoon Water Vortex technique. Kakashi, Ino, and Choji were relieved at King Kakashi's arrival under Yamato's leadership. Yamato ordered Sai and Sakura to back up Shikamaru, while Kakashi summoned Pakun to lead the way. Naruto resolves to defeat Kakuzu on his own. Hidan failed to kill Shikamaru as the latter ensnared him with a shadow once more. Having prepared the area in advance, Shikamaru used his shadows to pull the explosive tags onto Hidan and open a deep pit beneath him. Hidan insisted that he would survive this attempt. Even if only his head remained intact, and would kill Shikamaru in turn. Shikamaru calmly explained that they were on his clan's land, and that his clan would keep Hidan buried for eternity. Lighting a cigarette, Shikamaru saw a vision of Asuma, who congratulated him before disappearing, saying his last goodbye. Shikamaru tossed the lit cigarette at Hidan, igniting the explosive tag and causing a massive explosion. Hidan survived the explosion and insisted that he would bite Shikamaru to death, all the while proclaiming that his god Jashin would punish Shikamaru. Shikamaru ignored the threat and tossed the kunai with explosive tag into the hole. The explosion caused the hole to cave in, burying Hidan to rubble. Meanwhile, Naruto began preparing an extremely powerful technique. Kakashi realized, though, through a flashback, that Naruto might indeed surpass the fourth Hokage. Naruto then used the wind-style Rasen Shuriken. Akatsuki was visibly concerned by the new technique. Akatsuki jumped into the air, but Naruto leapt behind him. Akatsuki was forced to sacrifice 2 of his hearts. He was able to shield himself against the attack using his earth element shield. However, this left him unable to move. Kakashi realized Naruto had surpassed him and went to finish Akatsuki by stabbing his last heart. Team Kakashi and Team 10 returned triumphantly to Konoha. Shikamaru visited Asuma's grave for Kurenai, who had been revealed to be pregnant with Asuma's child. Later, while playing shogi with his father, Shikamaru commented that the identity of the King's Piece was the next generation of Konoha's ninja. Despite this revelation, he lost the game to his father.
Now, we finally get to the good part. Sasuke turns on Orochimaru to begin his hunt for his older brother, Itachi. He recruits 3 of Orochimaru's guinea pigs and forms a team of his own known as the Heavy. As the Heavy moves to locate Itachi, the Leaf Village gets word that Orochimaru is dead and that Sasuke is the one who took him down. So, Tsunade decides to send out a team to hunt down and capture Itachi. Like, literally arrest Itachi Uchiha. And she didn't play around with the team she put together either, man. She sends out Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, Yamato, Shino, Kiba, and Hinata. Happening at the exact same time as all of this stuff going on with Itachi, Jiraiya learns of the Akatsuki leader's hideout, and Tsunade sends him out to confront the one called
Jiraiya basically tells Tsunade to bet everything on him not coming back, which is crazy because, like, and if you do know original Naruto, Tsunade's a bad gambler and she always loses her bets.
So Jiraiya ends up heading off to the Rain Village, where he's pretending to be in espionage. Honestly, I could tell it's Jiraiya. He got these goofy costumes and everything. He's wearing a cloak in one point in time. And he gets stopped by Conan, who is someone that he formerly taught and, taught how to survive during the Ninja War. And he's like, where's the other guys? Where's Nagato? Where's Yahiko?
The Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5. And the reason why is because I did not want Jiraiya to die. And that's really just the honest opinion. I mean, I just really did not want to see Jiraiya get bodied like that. So Sasuke approaches the Uchiha hideout to battle Itachi. To the death, mind you. This is their final battle. This is the battle to end all battles. And this is monumental for Sasuke because this is what he has lived his entire life for. Itachi uses Tsukuyomi, the same genjutsu he used on Kakashi and Sasuke 2 years prior to put them both in the hospital. Except this time he's using it to educate Sasuke on the Uchiha clan's history and on who Madara Uchiha is. Sasuke ends up breaking the Tsukuyomi using his curse mark level 2, and the two have this big shuriken showdown. Itachi unleashes Amaterasu, the immortal black flames that ignite upon command. Sasuke has no choice but to run at this point. But this is when the battle becomes strategic because Sasuke ends up using the flames of the Amaterasu plus his own fireballs that he launches into the sky to form a cumulonimbus cloud. And Sasuke launches a lightning dragon. I mean, Itachi is genuinely surprised by Kirin. And I mean, this attack destroys the entire hideout. They are done. I mean, it turns everything. The entire mountain is rubble, and these guys are fatigued, and we think that the battle is over. However, Itachi shows back up and he has a Susanoo, this huge, monstrous avatar wrapping around him. Due to him running out of chakra, Sasuke is no longer able to contain Orochimaru. He didn't kill him, he just sealed him inside of him. And now Orochimaru, in true Orochimaru fashion, is out and he's trying to take Sasuke's body because he's weakened and he can't fight back. However, Itachi is right there and he stabs him with the toaster blade, sealing Orochimaru indefinitely. And Itachi takes his final walk towards Sasuke, saying he was going to take Sasuke's eyes. That's what this whole battle has been about. His Mangekyo is fading, he's losing his light, and he needs Sasuke's eyes in order to gain eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So we're assuming that Itachi is about to win. However, once he gets up on Sasuke, he just pokes him on the forehead, and Itachi is dead. Itachi dies, and Sasuke is the winner.
Sasuke triumphed in the battle. Itachi Uchiha is now dead.
What? I don't believe it!
Kidding.
It's just as I expected.
Naruto and his team ended up being held up by Toby.
And I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5, man. As far as character arcs, storytelling, and fight scenes, I mean, we have some of the most strategic fights out of this arc. We have Sasuke versus Deidara and Sasuke versus Itachi. And yeah, we get the little, the little childish games between Naruto and his crew against Toby. So for that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Madara reveals to Sasuke that his brother Itachi eradicated the Uchiha clan under orders given to him by the Hidden Leaf Village. This sends Sasuke into a spiral. A downward spiral. Sasuke is ordered by Madara to capture the 8-tailed Jinchuriki Killer Bee. And this is where my boy Sasuke gets the worst beating of his entire life.
ペイン来て。彼が来たわ。
で、サスケの方は。いい感じだ。あれはイタチ。
Soon, very soon, all our goals shall be achieved. When that happens, then everything will be restored to its rightful place.
Now, I know I talked a lot about Sasuke versus Itachi and that whole entire arc, but this next arc is like probably the most emotional and one of the best storytellings in anime, period. And I'm talking about the Pain arc.
Now this world shall know pain.
We see Naruto come back from that failed mission and just like the whole vibe and energy, not just for Naruto, but for Sakura, like everyone just comes back distraught. You ever just work really hard on something like a test or something and you really give it your all and you just fail? That was the energy when they got to the village. It was all storm cloudy and depressing. And then Naruto gets summoned to the Hokage office where Tsunade's there. And he's like talking to this frog. He's like, bro, who's this frog? Being mad disrespectful, even though we know that's literally Jiraiya's like sensei, his master that taught him the sage mode. And Tsunade's trying to explain this and he's got a message for Naruto, but he's like, yo, what's all this about, bro? Just get to the point. I just failed to get Sasuke back. I'm already feeling down. Like, what else? What else? And then they dropped a bomb on, just like the Gap Band. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. Yeah, they're like, yeah, Jiraiya's dead. And he like, how'd this happen, bro? What happened? How did it happen? Did you do this? Did you send him out there by himself? No backup, no envoy, no nothing. And, it's just crazy. So Naruto just like lashes out, dips out, and he goes through the same depression that we see Shikamaru go through a couple arcs back. And that's why I said that Shikamaru had that will of fire. He learned that lesson when he lost Asuma, and he passes that on to Naruto. But it actually was Iruka that lifts up his spirits and really consoles him. But from here, we really see that Shikamaru has Naruto's back and is always in his corner. I mean, if you think about it, ever since the Sasuke retrieval arc and mission, even way back before, when he asked his dad about why does everybody act like Naruto like doesn't exist and stuff like that. I play that clip.
Hey Dad, can I ask you about something that's been bugging me? What is it? It's about Naruto. Why does everybody avoid him like the plague? Did he do something wrong? Shikamaru, why don't you tell me how you feel about Naruto? You want to know how I feel? Huh, I never thought about it before. Well, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he's pretty funny. I don't think we'll ever be buddies or anything, but it's not like I want to avoid him. Well, then, ignore the others. I say treat him however you want to. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do.
Shikamaru, not like anybody else. I feel like Shikamaru's even a closer friend to Naruto and confident than Sasuke was. The only difference between Naruto and Sasuke versus Naruto and Shikamaru is that Naruto had this rivalry and brotherhood, Sasuke, versus Shikamaru being a really, really close friend. Shikamaru's the best friend that Naruto should always have, versus Sasuke being just that guy that was like closer than a friend, you know? Go ahead and tell them about the Pain arc.
It essentially centers in on the attack on the Hidden Leaf village by Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, and it dives deep into the cycle of hatred, revenge, and understanding. Pain, whose real name is Nagato, was once a student of Jiraiya, just like Naruto, but after witnessing endless war and suffering in the Hidden Rain village, he loses faith in peace. When Pain invades the Hidden Leaf village, it's total destruction. He wipes out the entire village in one of the anime's most shocking moments. During this chaos, Naruto returns from Mount Miyaboku, fully trained in Sage mode, ready for his ultimate showdown. And the fight between Naruto and Pain isn't just physical, it's philosophical. Naruto battles not only Pain's bodies, but also his ideology. He's forced to confront his own anger and grief, especially after Pain kills Jiraiya, like Naruto's mentor and father figure. He killed Kakashi. You know, he attempted to kill Hinata right in front of him. So this battle was intense, man. And this battle is a must-win for Naruto. You know, he's using shadow clones, of course. He's using smoke bombs. He's using Rasen shurikens. You know, he's telling everyone to stay out of this fight because it is personal between him and Pain. You know, and there's no one in the village right now that's actually on Naruto's level at this point because he's perfected Sage mode.
What's he doing? What just happened? Naruto, more and more villagers are coming back to life. What? Seriously?
I'm gonna stay here and look after these three for a while. Only until they're truly able to take better care of themselves. Poor kids, it's the least that I can do for them.
I still have time to revive those I killed since I arrived in the Leaf Village. It's the least that I can do for them.
What's this? Well, my guess is, it was just too soon for you to come here. You must have unfinished business waiting for you back home. Father, I'm grateful we had time to talk. And for your forgiveness. At long last. I'm free. I can move on in peace. And finally, see your mother. What? Kakashi too, huh? What happened?
Thank goodness! I'm so glad Kakashi-sensei! I'll explain everything as clearly as I can. Did you just...
War inflicts death, injury, and pain on everyone. The truth is, the more precious someone is to us, the harder it is for us to accept that they might die. Sometimes you actually convince yourself there's no way they could die. This naivete can't be helped, especially with a generation like yours. A generation that does not know war. You might try to find meaning in war, but all there is loss and unbearable pain. All that senseless death. It unleashes a cycle of violence and hatred that never ends. War creates only more war. And those are the things you will face in the coming days, Naruto. The parallels between you and that book, it almost feels like someone set it all up. Like it was all the work of an actual god. Seems this is it for me. Naruto, I believe you of all people can.
After Pain's defeat, Naruto's victory shakes the ninja world. You know, he's revered as a hero who saved the village. All in all, I'm gonna have to give that Pain arc a solid 5 out of 5. Another banger. Meanwhile, Sasuke, after getting his ass kicked by Killer Bee, but successfully retrieving the 8 tails, Madara reveals to Sasuke that his brother Itachi eradicated the Uchiha clan under orders given to him by the Hidden Leaf Village. This sends Sasuke into a downward spiral. Now Sasuke sees the Hidden Leaf Village as the true enemy, as the ones who manipulated his brother and didn't tell him, who kept it a secret that they hated the Uchiha, they discriminated against the Uchiha. So now he turns his blade towards his home. He promises he will destroy the Hidden Leaf Village. And this adds a different dynamic into the game, into the story that is Naruto. The former Hokage Tsunade is put in a coma due to saving everyone's life during the Pain Invasion, and a new Hokage is named. Surprise, surprise, it's Danzo. Danzo is also the same man who ordered Itachi to eradicate the Uchiha clan. So you already know Sasuke got to get that get back. Sasuke and his team gets word that Danzo has been named the new Hokage. Madara essentially gives him a mission to collect Danzo's head. And this kicks off the 5 Kage Summit, which in my opinion is the last great arc of this entire anime. Let's talk about it. In this arc, we're introduced to all of the other Kage. Like we already knew Gaara, we already knew the Hokage, but now we're introduced to the Raikage, the Tsuchikage, the Mizukage, and they're all having this meeting. They're all having this summit to discuss the Akatsuki. And at the summit, tensions are running high. The Raikage is demanding justice for his brother Killer Bee's capture. The other Kage are debating over uniting their forces to go ahead and wipe out the Akatsuki as a whole. But old rivalries resurface, and my boy Sasuke crashes the meeting, attacking the Kage directly in his quest for revenge against Danzo. And this marks Sasuke's full descent into darkness. The chaos escalates when Madara Uchiha shows up, revealing his plan for the 4th Great Ninja War to capture all the tailed beasts and cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, enslaving the entire world in an illusion of peace. The 5 Kage agree to form an alliance, creating the allied shinobi forces for the first time in history. And it's really a massive turning point that sets the stage for the war to come. However, Sasuke versus Danzo does not need to be overlooked here, because this is another emotional roller coaster for Sasuke to come over, to triumph in. And it signifies how far he's willing to go to enact his revenge. This fight is both brutal and psychological. Sasuke uses his Mangekyo Sharingan, relying on Amaterasu's black flames and his cunning genjutsu to try and wear Danzo down. But Danzo is countering with deceptive tactics and wind-release attacks and constantly reviving every time he seems to die. It really seems like he's immortal in this standoff. And we learn that the technique that Danzo is using is known as the Izanagi, a forbidden Uchiha power that allows the user to rewrite reality for a meaningless period of time. But it does turn the fatal blows into illusions. But the catch is every use of the Izanagi turns one Sharingan eye blind. So Sasuke begins pressuring Danzo to use up all of his eyes. Eventually, Danzo runs out of Sharingan and Izanagi time. In a desperate final move, he captures Karin, Sasuke's ally, as a hostage. But Sasuke's hatred is too deep here. He impales both Danzo and Karin without hesitation with a Chidori blade through the chest. And this shows how far Sasuke has fallen into darkness and has been corrupted by Madara Uchiha himself. Wounded and defeated, Danzo attempts one last act, detonating a reverse tetragram seal to destroy himself and take Sasuke and Madara with him. But Sasuke escapes and Madara escapes, leaving Danzo to die alone, reflecting on his twisted vision of peace. They really try to give us a flashback to feel bad for this guy. And it didn't work. It just didn't hit home. Meanwhile, Naruto is caught between two worlds. He got the friend who's gone too far and the village that caused that pain in the first place. He learns from Gaara that Sasuke attacked the Kage Summit, marking him as an international criminal. For Naruto, this becomes the emotional crossroads of his journey. He refuses to give up on Sasuke, but the world has already labeled him as beyond saving. So it was kind of like, a lot of people didn't understand why he was having that panic attack. This is why.
Yeah, it's a pivotal point for Naruto and Sakura too, because we see Sakura basically tell Naruto to give up on Sasuke, his pursuit, give up on the promise, everything that she put on him. And this is actually another reason why I hate Sakura as a character. She put all this on him. Know dang well she got feelings for him. She know dang well that Naruto had feelings for her for the longest, and then she just straight up lied to Naruto and said that she loved him. And that she does love him, but not in the way that she was trying to make it seem, like a romantic love. Like, and I was like, she's lying to herself, she's lying to Naruto. Like, I get why she's trying to do this, but it's so ungenuine and not forthcoming that it's like, it pissed Naruto off. It pissed me off too. I was like, okay. But it pissed me off more because I'm like, alright, Sakura, you're the most selfish, entitled out of all of them. So I'm just like, okay. So it leads to this point where Sakura goes off to try to find Sasuke right before he dips out. And Sasuke's like, okay, well, if you want to join me, you got to kill Karen. And she was hesitant, and he was just eyeing her like, what's the problem? Why can't you do this? You want to be with me, right? You want to be part of my clique? You want to roll with me? You care for me? Kill her for me. You know, I'm low on chakra, do it. So she hesitated, and then Sasuke was actually going to get ready to kill Sakura, but Naruto ends up getting out there before Kakashi even could get out there to save Sakura. And then Kakashi even comments about how Naruto literally is faster than him. He's like, you got better timing than me. Kakashi literally told Naruto he got better timing than him. I was like, that's crazy. And it's such an impactful moment because this is the final standoff, right? Sasuke's completely in this dark mode, this dark place. He has no more redeemable qualities left. You know, he's an international criminal, wanted in all territories because this big allied shinobi force basically marked him as a terrorist. I mean, what he did to Killer Bee and, you know, everywhere, you know, he's a criminal. You know, he did an international crime. He can't be protected by Konoha no more. So Naruto's like, hey, this is only gonna end one way. Both of us are gonna wind up having to kill each other. And then they have this dynamic clash. Sasuke leaves out there with Madara, and it's time that you're gonna see him. It's gonna be during the 4th grade Shinobi War, and I'm like, man, this is hype. This is peak Naruto Shippuden. This is not where it went wrong. In my opinion, where it went wrong is in the latter war arc.
All in all, I'm gonna give the 5 Kage Summit a 5 out of 5. Solid arc, great character development, great fights, great battle scenes. It was just, this was the last 5 out of 5. And that wraps up today's breakdown. The Shinobi world is on the edge of war, and things are only going to get more intense from here. However, this is where I feel it went wrong. So we're going to follow up on the next episode of SuiShi Sessions. I'm Bonafide Hustler, and you've been tuned in to SuiShi Sessions for a while. Thanks for rocking with us. Stay sharp, stay real. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't care what no one says. We'll see you guys again on the next episode of SuiShi Sessions.